back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Surprisingly enough, it's about the Saudi League once again. Yes, there's been some journalists whacking some sensational headlines out really about how the impending arrival of Jordan Henderson to the Saudi League, who I believe is going to go sign for, is it Ekatafe, the one that's managed by Steven Gerrard, who it seems to be struggling in training, if you haven't seen that hilarious training video, which I do imagine would be the case, to be honest with you. But yeah, I could hardly understand what Gerrard's saying as well, to be honest with you, and I live in Newcastle. But anyway, going back to Jordan Henderson, so these journalists have been saying that the Jordan Henderson transfer is game-changing, that if they can sign the Liverpool captain, then nobody's safe from the Saudi League. So I've got a couple of points on this and what it means for Newcastle as well. So let's unpack the first one, okay? Jordan Henderson is 33. Jordan Henderson has been a great player for Liverpool, okay? Way better than what I thought he was going to be when I signed him from the Mackhams. But Jordan Henderson's 33 years old and his legs are going, if not gone. He's not the player that he was. He struggles to keep up with the pace of the game internationally as well. He's been in and out of that team, I think, over the last couple of years. Klopp pretty much realises that he's coming to the end of his career. A bit like what Gerrard was doing towards the end of his Liverpool career as well. He didn't have that dynamic influence on the side that he had game after game. So Henderson's in the same boat. Now, at 33 years old, with your whole career behind you, successful career, winning Premier Leagues, winning Champions Leagues, and you know, representing his club extremely well. If Saudi Arabia come along and offer him more money than he's ever seen in his life for a year or two to finish his career, then he'll probably get into punditry because he's very good in front of the cameras, Henderson. Why not? Why not take it up? You know, like we've said before. So that is the reason I think that Henderson's going there. But in terms of game changing, no, I'm sorry. Jordan Henderson's a good player. When the Saudi League signed one of the greatest footballers that's ever kicked a ball in his generation, in any generation, in the shape of Cristiano Ronaldo, that was game changing. So if Lionel Messi went there, that would be game changing. Benzema going there was game changing. But all these players have something in common. They're at the end of their career, and that's why they're going to the Saudi League. Players like Jota from Celtic going there, very different. That's probably more concerning if I was a football fan of Celtic, that is. I'm a football fan, sorry, but if I was a Celtic fan, it's early in the morning. I'd be worried about that because it's a young player with his whole career ahead of him, and he's going to Saudi League, a bit like Oscar did when he went to China from Chelsea. That's something to be concerned about, you know. So those things I totally get. But going back to the issue with the Saudi League and what it means for Newcastle. So loads of people asking this question, and it is a question I've asked myself too. So it looks like Fabinho might possibly be following Henderson over there. Maybe they can share the plane. But it looks like he's going as well. Now, Liverpool have obviously went and bought younger midfielders. They've got Szoboszlai in. They've got McAllister in from Brighton. I think they're looking to sign, is it the boy from Southampton? Is it Lavia, the defensive midfielder, who's a good player? I think we were linked to him as well. So that they're kind of refreshing the whole midfield. Milner's going as well. Obviously, he's not going to Saudi. He might burn. But yeah, so why are the Saudi League not buying some of Newcastle United's deadwood? And we've got lots of deadwood to ship. I'm talking about Jeff Hendrick. I'm talking about Isaac Hayden, as much as I like him as a player and a lad. You know, players like that we need to ship out, get rid of. But the Saudi League aren't coming near our players. We're struggling to sell Maxi for the price that we want him for. The Saudi League aren't coming to buy saint-maximin. And why is the reason? It's just because of the scrutiny that would be put onto that deal. And that's not right. I'm not fair, and I get it. But because we're owned by the PIF, if they start inter-trading and buying Newcastle players, could you imagine the shit that would kick off and ensue from the football and bodies? The other clubs, it's okay if they're buying their shit old players. You know, Jurgen Klopp's counting the money, laughing his tits off, and you know, thinking about how he's going to polish his teeth and get a super wax from the teeth wash, you know, with the money he's getting from Henderson and Fabinho. But if Jeff Hendrick went over to Saudi Arabia, he'd hit the roof. He'd be doing press conferences and all sorts of shit. You know, this is the consequence, unfortunately, of us being owned by the PIF, that we're under so much more stricter financial restrictions than the other clubs. So we can't jettison our deadwood over to the likes of them directly without incurring scrutiny. Now, maybe we can ship some of these players out to other teams that the Saudis may have an investment stake in. You know, we've already loaned, is it Minter over to Feyenoord. Maybe we can get them out of the door that way, possibly, because we've got a relationship with them. Who knows? And that might be kind of less under the radar than it would be. But by the sounds of it, we're going to have to sell somebody to fund the deal for Barnes. You know, there's talk about Chiesa coming in, possibly. If that's a loan deal, that's an amazing bit of business. I saw the Diabys are going to Aston Villa. That's disappointing that Newcastle haven't been able to do something there. But I understand the reason, and you've got to trust the process and trust how that Barnes is a proven Premier League player, and Diaby could be hit or miss. He could be brilliant, he could be shit. So maybe a bit more consistency with Barnes coming in for 35 million quid. I kind of get that, but it looks like we're going to have to ship somebody out to get somebody in to balance the FFP books. The deal can probably be done, but because the owners are very pragmatic in terms of, you know, the FFP and not getting any fines incurred, because they would come on down a lot harder on us than they would do on the likes of City, I'm sure of that, because of who our owners are, because they're taking all these players from Premier Leagues and other top leagues over to Saudi. So, you know, again, a consequence, we'll get fucked over for that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there, you know, with regards to outs and ins. I think that a lot of the deadwood might get shipped out on loan to free up the wage bill. That will possibly balance it out. Champions League's going to bring a lot more money as well, as will the new corporate sponsor. So maybe we can still get deals done for Barnes and players like that. But it's definitely one to watch. It's disappointing that the Saudis can't buy some of our shit players as well, but I think that's the reason. So that's my thought of the day on that situation, guys. If you like what you hear, smash subscribe, come and join us. We're over 4,200 subs now, so we're aiming for that 4,500. Come and help us out. Like the video, help get the channel on YouTube, and we'll catch you later. Have a great day. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.